Alright, so right now we're going to talk about Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Okay, cult-like. First off, let's discuss cult-like. A cult is generally thought of as bad, okay? So if you don't want to think that you're starting a cult, leading a cult, running a cult, you don't have to, okay? You can start a religious group, you can start just a group of like your friends, you can start a team. It's basically a team of people that work together and you're the leader of them. So it could be in a business, you could be managing people, you could be the boss of people, it could be any one of those things. So whatever term you want to use, go ahead and use it. It's just that in the book Law 27, it uses the word cult-like following. And I feel like the use of the word is good because when you think of that, it's like people will do anything for you, okay? And that's the ultimate kind of power that you want. You want people to do anything for you. Okay, so Law 27, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about the 5 steps to creating a cult-like following. Okay, so 5 of them. Let's see, and I think that I have these kind of in a weird order because I started to write down things and I was like, oh, let me write this in there. So we'll talk about them. But the first thing that is true is that people have an overwhelming desire to believe in something. So check out religion, check out sports. Like you want to believe, okay? Or you believe in your sports team. You feel like they're gonna win the championship. Your favorite MMA fighter, you believe, okay? You believe that they're gonna win. You have that hope. Your life, you believe that you're going to become something great. You believe, okay? We all have a desire to believe, so you have to give someone something to believe in. So what you want to do is emphasize the visual and sensual over the intellectual. So sensual, touchy, feely, the sense, what they see. Make spectacles, meaning like make almost magic, like make dazzling imagery, okay? Wear something maybe like fancy with gold, bedazzled stuff on it. You sort of awe people and like get them to just focus on the visual rather than having them think about like, oh, are you making sense? Should I really be following you? Are you doing what's good for all of us? You don't want them to start to question, okay? You don't want them to get bored or skeptic, because those are 2 things that happen once you start to build a following. People are going to get bored or they're going to get skeptical, okay? So you need to use structures from religion to get them in the right mindset of, hey, this is what we're going to do, like church every Sunday, okay? You might have every Friday, you have like a Friday fun day and you do a certain thing, okay? Get them on a schedule. Then that way they get used to what you're doing and you change it up a little bit, you have fun, and they never get bored or skeptical. So, like I said, that was another step. Borrow forms of organized religion to structure your group. So, you want to do stuff like that as far as like what you're going to do, and then as far as who everyone is. Like, you have to have a hierarchy. So, it could be like you are the leader. You have someone under you that's your sub-leader or your under-leader. Under them, you have your kind of like the army, let's say generals, and then you have your soldiers, or whatever you want to call them, It's like a team. You might have a team leader, you might have these 2 defenders, these 2 offensive players, you might have this one person that does both equally well. Everyone, you have to give them a label and a title, and you have to allow them to understand the hierarchy. So the power structure, like, hey, you're in this position, so this is what you do. You don't talk down to a person above you. You don't disrespect them. Obviously, you don't want disrespect in your group. You want everyone to respect everyone, but you need to know, like, hey, I have more power than you, or they have more power than you. Like, this is how you need to act, okay? So go ahead and just research some forms and like hierarchies of religion, military, or any groups that have really grown. So we're talking about, keeping people excited and keeping people like believing. So what you have to do is amuse the bored and ward off the cynic. So the people that are talking crap to you, people are saying you're not the truth, that your group doesn't know what it's doing, you need to ward them off. Get them away from you so that you don't have to deal with them. And keep your members, the ones that are loyal to you, keep them excited. Don't let them get bored or they're going to leave. Okay? So, disguise your income is another thing that you have to do. Never ever reveal that your wealth comes from your followers. So, you got to imagine that, like a church. Let's say you're getting money from your followers and that's making you a ton of money, and you go buy a brand new Mercedes, brand new Lamborghini, brand new Ferrari, brand new house. You got to disguise that it's coming from them. It's got to come from an unknown source. Basically, it has to appear that it comes from somewhere else because you are who you are. That you have so much power, you're so much of a prophet, you're so much of a genius, you're so much of a guru that your money just comes to you from outside sources, not from them. And fifth thing that you have to do is you have to create an us versus them dynamic, meaning that you have to have an enemy, and if you don't have one, just make one up. This is what we stand for. We stand for freedom. We are not going to let them take us down. They don't like what we're doing. They are trying to stop us. We're going to stop them. We're going to keep going. We're going to do what we want. We're not going to let them stop us. So them is the us versus them mentality, the dynamic, because then it strengthens you because everyone has a common enemy and you have something to talk about or something to plan about. Hey, this is what we're going to do to make sure that they don't take over our rights or whatever it is. So you have to have that us versus them dynamic, that clash, that drama, that fighting. Alright? So, the first thing that you obviously need to do with anything, and especially with creating a cult-like following, is you got to get attention. So you need to do what you need to do to get attention. Now, I could go into whole videos of the science of attention, the laws of attention, the rules of attention. I'm not going to right now, but just know that if you create some tension, you get attention, right? And from other books that I've read, from other studies that I've done, other experiments that I've done, I have some ways to gain attention almost instantly, but we're not going to talk about that right now, okay? So, a few things that you want to do when talking, either just to your group or through videos, promotional stuff. What you want to do is keep your words vague but full of promise. So, I'll do that right now. This is so great. It's going to take us to the next level. It's going to enhance our freedoms, and we are just going to live very, very happily and wealthy. I didn't give out any specifics there. My words are very vague, but they sound very good just because of the words that I'm using. Freedom. We're going to discover something new. It's going to be the best thing for us, okay? But what? Don't get too specific, because people are going to expect you to be able to fulfill everything that you promised. And you don't want to be too vague, because then they're just going to be like, oh, this is just straight BS. So you got to find that nice, sweet spot. Make sure that you keep everything very simple. Hey, these are 3 steps that you need to follow today in order to achieve this result. Lay it out. Keep it very simple. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality. So rationality is like thinking it out. Enthusiasm is just being like, yeah, it's gonna work. Yeah, we're gonna get this. We might not even know how we're gonna get it right now, but I know we're gonna get it. I have the best feeling about it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get everything we want. We're gonna reach that peak, that freedom, and we're gonna have all the money that we want in the whole wide world and live happily ever after and healthy too. Okay, so emphasize enthusiasm. Enthusiasm meaning like just the belief, the happy belief, the positive belief. Okay, get your new disciples, followers, teams to perform rituals. Okay, so our ritual could be like, hey, you have to spin around 3 times, do 10 push-ups, and then do 5 jumping jacks every time you come here. Okay, that's a little ritual. Whatever ritual it is that you want to put out, and give them, go ahead and use that one. Take some time to think about it if you need to, or go find one online and just use it, okay? So adapt to people's needs. Make sure you're listening to your followers. Make sure you're adapting what you're talking about, the way you're talking, your appearance, what you're doing to their needs. Because if they feel like you are their only source of happiness, if they feel like you are the answer to their problems, if you feel like you can fulfill all their needs, then they're going to be that much more loyal to you. Okay? So let's see. Another thing is appealing to nature. It gives you like a mystical, godlike effect. There was actually a quote in here. I don't have it, but it said basically, nature is filled with a lot of dangers, a lot of dangerous animals, a lot of poisonous plants. Yet we tend to think it's all good for the most part. You know, we put avocado in our bodies, in our shampoos. Like, if you're able to add an element of nature, so let's say you're like using crystals, or you're saying like we have all natural smoothies made out of fruit that will heal you of all your ailments. Bringing nature into what you're doing allows a mysticism. It allows you to gain power through nature. And especially works well during stressful times. Like right now the coronavirus is going on. Hey, you know what? We have this new avocado coconut drink that boosts your immune system to help you fight against the coronavirus. So reversal is basically kind of like what we were talking about in Keep Your Hands Clean. If your followers, if a crowd, if someone finds out that what you're doing doesn't really work, they're going to tear you to pieces, or they're going to be very mad at you, and they're not going to follow you anymore. So if you give all these promises, you tell them that you're just going to fix everything and make everything the best in the world, but you really can't, then if they find out that what you're doing doesn't work, they're going to be very mad at you. And this says tear you to pieces because it talks about, you know, like being back in the days of kings and stuff, where it was more barbaric. Probably not going to get ripped to pieces, but you might get thrown in jail, you might get banished, you might get a lawsuit against you. Something bad might happen if the people that you're leading find out that what you are saying doesn't work 100%. Okay, so make sure that what you're saying does work. Sometimes you might have to emphasize enthusiasm, just like it says in here, a little bit more than normal, just to get them to believe in you, which is fine. But always try to deliver something that's good, that's actually gonna work for them. Okay, so this is Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Once again, cult, it's just a word. It could be used for team. You could use the word team, you could use the word group, you could use the word followers, whatever it is you want to use. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this, and get notified so you can see when I put up a new video.